It looks like we are going.
All right, we got
BONK starts.
PIGA, 4 assaults of recon, 3 assaults of recon on support and SF, so it's pretty equal. Besides the support on
Ooh, 2 supports. Swapped over.
They do have the pipe last hallway spawn, so that makes a lot of sense if they're going to hold one back.
None of them pushed down elevator shaft, all of them going down into pillars and big construction. Meeting at the server room.
I mean, this ghost is pulled up there, so maybe they just decided that the rooftop push might not be the wisest. PIGA already getting the entry. Kind of expect that from Sippy here, though. Sippy plays pretty aggressive on this map.
Now cutting the corner. Oh, getting taken out. Oni coming in behind.
Perfect example as to why we call the 2 parallel areas suicide simply is because they duke it out in this area so much when you try to push for a choke point on server.
Ooh, and down to a 1v1. Grass
kind of an advantage here behind the glass doors. The SRM with the penetration values not being as high as the ZR silenced. I can see Master Katza here keeping... Oh, actually, I don't think Master Katza, I think it's Muffin Dono. Actually keeping the ZR silenced when the MX comes rolling around as well, because I think that's how he rolled last tournament. Now that I see the ZRS, it kind of makes me think of that. Maybe we'll see that.
Oni and Zippy doing a trade right off the bat, giving Zippy the Supa on the recon.
A very smart push here for the elevator shafts. It's probably more a close quarters area to play in, so I can see that work out.
Again, it doesn't look like anybody on BONK is going elevator shaft.
Jeff getting the entry here. Once again, his tack has gone missing. Not sure why, but it keeps happening.
Zippy holding a strong position on that shelf there, but fortunately nobody came.
Everybody trying to manifest in suicide yet again. It seems like this is going to be the main choke point for these two teams. Muffin already trying to like pay the price here, getting traded in after that nuke.
On the upside, it is in his favor, 4-3. He does have a chance to make it count.
It seems like everything kind of just lost tempo here. Everybody's just trying to pile into the same corner from the office here. Makes a lot of sense too, once again, because that's the second place that I think teams will pull up the most. If not in suicide, it's probably like office area to construction most of the time. That said, BONK is immediately retaliating with a 1-2-1.
Yeah, John got circled back on.
We're instantly in for a wild ride for sure. I mean, if we see this like trade back and forth, that means the ranks will be staying pretty similar based on how the kills are distributed. For now, the ranks are pretty much identical, and we almost have a mirror match.
Yeah, PIGA definitely lost a lot of momentum there. It kind of felt like they allowed BONK to keep moving around while they were just kind of static.
Maybe that is about to change, considering they have 2 recons they're going to face now, and considering recons are pretty squishy, they got to support as a backbone. This might be the right thing to equal it out. On the other hand, John is holding back pipe spawn.
Ooh,
with Jide only, which means he throated his weapon. As I say this, BONK is already putting in a lot of groundwork, taking out 2 of the by only trying to get a trade. It said the Tentacle actually trading in. And Graz following up with another trade on Tentacle.
John still ground floor holding for drop, even though his team just all died upstairs.
This is definitely a long chain of wild trades yet again around suicide, which seems to be the recurring pattern. Oh, and another pattern just being with John being left behind as a support to cover an area which technically didn't make sense, considering that
Jeff and John both really low. Oh,
I mean, it doesn't make sense that he holds down like that in the first place, simply because of the fact that we have 2 people in server. It should be pretty apparent on screen, even when alive, that the numbers are going down, and it said 2v1. And only then John started moving. Not sure if it's just communication that fell flat, or if he just wanted to make extra sure that something weird doesn't happen. But based off of the numbers, he could have just moved. So, interesting play here. Master just going
supports.
through the lobby with an SRMS. Not sure if he's trying to do that to just delay his push into the choke point, yet again suicide, mind you. But it seems to work out, getting the drop on Smile. He almost team attacked his mate right there, the assault that pushed into server.
Yep. We have both teams seem to be pushing very slow through each location. They don't seem to be getting up as fast as they can to hold corners or strong chokes. They seem to be kind of creeping to almost every spot.
I mean, the only people that are really capable...
names, though.
I think the only people that are really capable of Tempo Tokyo would be Zippy and maybe Kinoko. I know that Zippy has practiced bunny hopping a bit, so I would see Zippy as the only actual contender for Tempo Tokyo in this one.
Kinoko with Ghost making calls for his team. At least I hope he is.
Well, the recurring pattern, once again, just being server, office, construction, and suicide. That's the 4 places they just follow up at.
For some reason, Grass is all the way on roof, kind of just holding, maybe setting up a jet pack, getting ready for the push.
I mean, it makes sense. They're currently down and out in terms of numbers. Zippy trying to even the playing field here, but their HP is pretty bad. So all they can do is cover the cap.
They got 2 healthy people on the enemy team, 1 support, 1 assault. Zippy holding a really odd angle on that door. It would be in his favor if they pushed that way, but again, only 13 health, one tickle from any gun he might drop.
Well, we're about to see an encounter here on the stairs. That's Zippy going down. Second encounter happening against Grass. A really weird position to play from both sides. I would not take a fight from any angle here.
Ooh, Jeff's maybe catching him. Yep, there it is.
It does seem like whenever they fall into defensive play, they focus on one lane, and they don't catch on that they might get flanked until it's way too late.
Yeah, I think they're just getting too caught in trying to hold and not trying to grab new positions to get better angles on people.
I mean, I can't blame them. Rise is probably one of the more difficult maps to play, and if you're not used to playing it or not used to being outnumbered in those situations, it's very easy to fall into a hole and just hold.
I guess so. I would also say that it's, you know, one of the most staple maps of the game. I would find it odd if you have any amount of experience on this game. You probably have played Rise quite a lot.
Yeah, but you cannot compare public Rise to tournament Rise. You just can't.
True.
That said, the Ghost is in construction. It's going to be a little bit different of a dynamic, I at least assume. Seeing Kinoko actually push into spawn this time, we might have a spawn firefight, unless John, who seems to be missing, is not there.
And he does have the Supa. He can take somebody out if he comes up on him.
Yet again, it's going to pile up into the office. A quick announcement.
And he does exactly that.
It doesn't matter though. It's a quick trade. Quick follow-up. So far, not too considerable, with John actually following up to build up a lead. But it seems to just hold true yet again. They're just in office yet again. Office or suicide. It's one of those 2 places.
Smile having a little bit of a low health bar to be holding the spot that he is. One well-placed grenade could even get him with just a little bit of help, and he's gone anyway. Not a lot of place to hide in that corner office.
I don't think it particularly matters in that instance. What matters now is that John couldn't follow up with the trade, because if you're going to have somebody with low health, his main purpose should be in that situation, especially when outnumbered, or outnumbering the enemy team, I mean, to give
enemy
information.
Team doesn't have Ghosts, though. Bonk's going down, could go for the cap. Oni's all the way on the roof. He's not going to be able to stop it.
The only thing Oni can try to do is catch him there, but
yeah,
support time, and support time is slow time.
Unless he gets stuck in that, nope, he is not stuck. He's making it all the way.
Well, that means 2 lieutenants on Jinride's board, which means we can either see up easy, or if nothing stops to assault, probably melee. I mean, there's a lot of glass, especially on suicide, which they do play a lot, but I'm pretty sure it could be easily circumvented by swapping the positions to make the AA viable enough. That said, it doesn't seem to change. The lieutenant... Well, we got one assault lieutenant, and the assault lieutenant is not really interested, it seems, in taking anything but the MX. And so does Muffin. Muffin just seems to be comfortable with the MXS, keeping everything pretty vanilla in this case.
With seeing the amount of supports we've seen all game, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen as much smoke holding in choke points. It seems that the smoke has just not been utilized the way that they could.
Not too surprising. I mean, it is surprising that they're not used when the numbers are lower. But if you're gonna have one support on your team and the rest, well, in this case there's two, but usually there was one. Using your smoke to smoke off your team early on is kind of, especially the offense.
True, but with the amount of defense they're trying to play, you would think that they might want to smoke off maybe one lane and have the other teammates watch other angles. But I guess not so much. You were right though about the AA-13. That glass definitely got mastercast earlier in the Two supports pushing. Nice.
PIGA actually following up with a quick change of tempo here. Not sure how that came to happen, considering that I found BONK's position to be fairly strong, but not that it matters. That office quickly got taken over by a support gang right here.
It's a strong push on their part.
Well, I mean, we got one Sergeant now on NSF's board. They're trying to catch up here, which means that Oni can swap back to Assault to have the same firepower. Oni was the only one that used actual smoke grenades in the last round in a secluded location that was not with the rest of the team, so that was a pretty smart play.
Kinoko got an AA-13 off spawn from one of his Assault teammates.
Here's a prime example of what I mean. Now we got Kinoko smoking in, effectively cutting line of sight for the rest of his team. And that's place that I don't personally agree with. Don't smoke early. Let him push first and try to like smoke off a side lane or something.
Zippy's holding the smoke, at least making sure nobody tries to sneak a push through. Ooh, PIGA catching Jeff on the corner. Or grass, my bad.
It's kind of a weird situation now because we got 3 people holding in 3 different locations, with BONK being a little bit closer together. I mean, BONK is kind of holding it together with primarily construction, besides that encounter with Muffin right there. But PIGA just, I don't know, they're a little bit far apart. Grass gotta wait for Zippy. Is it Zippy? Yeah, it's Zippy to catch up and find a way in. And Zippy seems a little confused on where to go.
Zippy does have the HP to be able to take these fights. Oh, and he does. He took it.
All he had to do was wait behind the door because that AA wouldn't have done anything in the first place. Speaking of that, he actually decided to snag it. Not sure if he's going to try to take the long route. 50 seconds as a support to get back into construction from the other side is kind of slow.
Could be in his favor, though. Less glass. Lots of darkness.
Yeah, not to mention that Muffin is looking the opposite way. I mean, he got hard cover behind him, but if he can hear the steps, he's in a good power position. But it's perfect. Tentacle just looking the opposite way. I mean, sure, Muffin is ready, but...
Muffin does have the frag. He could get the easy kill. Oh, Ghost has been picked up. Well, surprisingly, Muffin doesn't try to shoot through the walls.
Good thing is that we got Zippy holding back, trying to catch Muffin, and sure he does.
And Zippy catches him.
I'm just surprised that Tentacle didn't hear the footsteps there. We had a big discussion about sounds and the terms of that, but Zippy was pretty much in reachable range. He was maybe 2 units, or not 2 units, 2 supports length apart.
He could have easily heard it, but I mean, he could have mistaken it for something else. Teammate, even though his teammate was technically in front of him.
I think it's always better if you're in a 2v2 situation to not have 2 people face the same way.
True.
I mean, Tentacle had a good position.
No supports this time on Jinrai. Sorry, just had to point it out. No supports at all this round.
Tentacle had a really good position, you know, being able to check both sides. So if he would have heard gunshots, he could have instantly looked the other way there.
Smile getting 2 big super shots really early.
That Smile's popping off. He's playing in a position different from John's, where it was like in the actual pipe, considering that most people push that window instead. And it seems to perfectly work out. He's just sitting on stairs and suicide, and is ready to go.
PIGA has the lead, but is just kind of holding corner office.
I mean, the Ghost is right there, and John is about to do the groundwork. And it seems like the dead pack didn't work, or whatever that was, because the explosion literally happened right next to John there.
True, but they are right behind, pushing up into the Ghost area.
Oh, I'm not sure what John is. Oh, John is going for the elevator right here. That might be a smart play to try to be.
Oh man, he's getting too much space on Muffin. Getting most of the team killed.
Well, here's the thing though.
Oh, Zippy does a great push with that low of HP. Muffin was not expecting it.
Yeah, here's the thing though. The Ghost Carrier went to play out of sync from the rest of the team, and that's exactly the kind of play you need to be going for if you have the numbers. Because if you have your team bunch up and have to move with the Ghost, you are always at the risk of the player realizing that everybody's probably on there. The moment you start playing away from the Ghost with the rest of your team, you will have to make sure on the enemy team that you are aware of this, that they could come from inside. Muffin kind of realized that too late, but
I believe all but one on PIGA side has an MX. Only one MX silenced. All assault. Going against 4 assaults, 1 recon.
yeah, it seems like the supports and the recons have been dropped for the most part simply because the firepower has been reached on both teams.
True, true. Kinoko in a heated firefight. 2 pushing down. Trying to get the kill. Fortunately, gets killed in the process.
It's kind of interesting how PIGA instantly managed to catch up all the rounds they went down and out even after the cap, and now they're even laying a groundwork to be in the lead.
Yep, they're doing a really good job once they started to get their heals in.
Not to mention that the rank difference is actually now in favor of PIGA. Sure, they don't have lieutenants, but they got more sergeants overall because Tentacle and Kinoko haven't even left corporal yet. That said, Grass is about to seal the bag here.
Grass really doing work on that corner. MXS, oh, and that's it. Big fights over in construction.
Oh. And speaking of lieutenants, we now have a lieutenant on the board. And speaking of sergeant, Kinoko and Tentacle have perfectly caught up to now be sergeants themselves.
There's a lot of firepower between both teams. Now, is it a matter of how they use it?
I mean, it's less so how they use it, but more so the fact that they shouldn't be pushing into the same choke points on both teams over and over. It seems like a lot of same style play on both teams happen all the time, where both teams try to quickly get into, well, one person's defending on the lower half. Either people try to get into construction as fast as possible, or mass push suicide like right now. And it feels like both teams try to be constantly like full offense. Besides when, you know, they're on the Ghost.
Trying to take a fight doesn't really work out. Oh, only catching Kinoko with a grenade. Server getting lit up. Master Gas going down. Oh, BONK. Server really getting heated. 2v1 situation. Everybody collapsed onto the server at the same time.
It's weird because John once again somehow manages to be away from the entire action even as an assault until it's like down to him. And I don't even think that they were playing. No, PIGA was spawning the roof outside, so it's not like, even like he had to hold back or anything.
John dropping his MX for a AA there, probably not the best trade.
I mean, server room is not bad of a pick because all of the glass right there is breakable. So
yeah.
Considering that people lit the room up as is, the
I
firepower
would still say that there's
like,
a lot of the pillars in the server units, plus that that one weird like command center kind of machine. It adds a lot of things that can catch your different pellets as they go in.
That's any gun.
Can't an MX pen some of that stuff though? Maybe not the pillar, but at least the machine. Oh, we have a drop down coming. John catching it. Oh, another one coming as well.
It seems like John's defense is finally getting
true. Coming in. Ooh. Brass catching Muffin. Well,
John certainly had enough of that.
Kinoko trying to be sneaky, doing a drop down in the vents. Just wasn't going to work out. Smile catching the last one in corner office. Really good play by PIGA.
It seems like Muffin has a realization. It's starting to dawn on him.
Four recons might not have been the play there, trying to go for speed.
I mean, I don't blame them for getting experimental, but it didn't seem like they had this plan at all. And if you're not planning something to be experimental with early on, it probably is not going to work.
Ooh, all 10 assaults. I'm gonna see a really big fight break out. As you said earlier, PIGA has really caught up on the EXP. They have 3 lieutenants now.
I'm kind of not surprised, considering that they've really been dishing out after they were 3 rounds behind. And with how strong Zippy has been going, he's really managed to come on top here. Saying that, he will easily go down. Smile made a really weird choice here. He dropped onto the Ghost, and he seems to have lost his primary weapon. He's only equipped with a Tachi. I'm not sure how that happened, but...
His gun is underneath the stairs. He just picked it up. May not have been able to find it in the shadows.
Well, it's going to be a little bit tough here for PIGA to get back out of this, but they have the Ghost, and the Ghost is probably the wisest choice to make against 5 people. Leave it up to the others to find where the people are coming from and play some tower defense, or even tie it out, and you're back in the green.
Yeah, but no one's really holding the Ghost to make callouts. It kind of seems like they're just trying to hold to see if they can catch anybody entering. Funny enough, none of them are really holding the upper part of the elevator. Oh, well, Smile seems to have heard exactly what I was talking about.
Upper elevator depends on how you play it. The way they were holding, it would have been perfectly fine to just stay at the bottom of the stairs with Smile.
Yeah, but now it is 5v2, one at the top, one at the bottom.
What Smile's doing now, on the other hand... Well, I was going to say what Smile's doing, on the other hand, was a really wise position, but it seems like BONK was more than ready to just catch him there.
Yeah, they all started to close in. They tightened their grip. There's really no way for them to get out.
It was an alright idea to pick up the Ghost briefly and always just listen to how fast the beeping is. Because sometimes the uplink takes too long, but if you hear that the frequency of the beeping is pretty fast, you know that they're just waiting or about to push in. And I think that's more than enough information in a situation like this to be like, just check the choke points, check the angles, they might come in any moment.
I guess so. I would also say that they did have 2 other people with guns holding the different angles. I think they could have probably gotten more information out of it. Smile going for a quick push on Suicide, going all the way up into pillars, drop the det pack. BONK getting a good pre-nade, the corner of Conference. Zippy pushing the stairs, going up into elevator, getting Muffin as well. Kanoko, Jeff, and Master still trying to figure out where they're trying to push.
Well, John is a little bit of a predicament here, but it makes sense that he would fall into that corner. There's so much clutter in that corner that he can get away, but he decides to jump out.
Master is a lieutenant, though. He's still just using a silenced ZR.
Oh, okay. Well, it was Master that I was thinking about. Yeah, Master or Muffin were the people that use it, even though they are high rank.
Interesting.
But it's working out. Like, Master, like... If it's Master always holding the ZRS, yeah, it works out for him. Like, playing against him, I had a really tough time to get in, even with the higher firepower. Probably because he plays his position pretty smart for the weapon choice he has. And I'm not sure, but I think the ZRS has a little bit less spread on range compared to the MX. I might be wrong, though.
Seems like there's a little bit of a lack of information on Smile's part. He didn't really tell Zippy that the last 2 guys were upstairs while Zippy was down by the Ghost. Seems like a lot of time was wasted there where Zippy has been holding the same location, not really making any... Ooh, but he catch Kanoko coming through the Conference. Guess it worked out in his favor.
Zippy never was downstairs, though. He was on the Ghost, which also was upstairs.
No. Smile was upstairs near big construction entrance.
That's what you meant.
He didn't give the information to Zippy, who was down by Ghost.
Well, the good thing is Zippy is out to go to a flank, but it probably will not matter if he's not going to push through server because Master's going so creepingly slow.
Yeah,
that
only
we probably will time out.
Yeah, this might be the first time out for this one, this map.
Can we fold him though?
He's being loud though. He might be giving away his position. Walking through all that glass, it can be a clear sign of where he's at.
Yeah, it's on purpose though. I like the way he jumped through just to stop again. It definitely was on purpose to try and lure out Master, but Master is just not having it. he really doesn't care.
Oh.
Or he's just too scared of giving away around the playing field.
I guess that last point doesn't really matter for Master since he's probably going to pick the same gun anyway.
So this is going to be interesting because a win means match point, and that means the other team has to win again to tie it out. And considering that there's no overtime, this means we definitely would get a third map. This also counts if we get 2 more ties.
Ooh. Lots, a random AA-13 just sitting around in spawn, picked up by a nice little Smile recon. A little late out of spawn, though, for the PIGA side.
Well, it brings me back to that both teams are not playing that intense tempo Tokyo in the first place, so it may just work out in favor for them.
BONK definitely just trying to hold down.
Well, Smile's about to get a drop on whoever is in the briefing room right here, but on the other hand, it's weird to play recon if you're just going to be holding a choke point that is easily reachable in the same amount it took Smile to get there. The only advantage he has in this little snake hallway is that he can get away fast, but...
Kanoko actually does have an MX on him this time. Pushing through that server room, catching people trying to push. Lots of people holding that corner of office.
It does seem like Kinoko has the position to always be one of the first people to clear into the room, kind of like leading the squad besides just being the team captain, and it's certainly paying off.
Grass catching Muffin as Muffin was waiting for the push through the office area rather than down the hallway. Oh, last one found though, and Grass pulls it out.
Well,
It feels like PIGA definitely has figured out that sometimes just holding works, but there's always a time to push, and they are definitely learning when that time is.
we're in a situation I was talking about. This is match point, which means no tie or loss on BONK's side, so, or they move or they lose the map. Considering that there is a chance to tie it out with one more win on Jinrai side, this could mean we're gonna see Snowfall. So let's see what they got. Saying that, BONK, like Tentacle, actually got stuck with the hitbox of the lifting airship. The hitbox of the airship sometimes stays there, and the roof can get a little bit iffy, costing him some time to actually get into the building there.
Ooh, John looked away, wasn't holding it. Zippy trying to hold the corner, almost caught Jeff with a grenade there.
Oh, this is devastating. BONK actually came down, Kinoko actually came down into the glass pipe, and Grass just simply didn't react. Kinoko only took fall damage, did not take damage from a single bullet.
Oh no. It might be a tied map.
It's down to Zippy here and Smile. Smile holding the office that he loves the most and holds dear. Zippy in a weird location. You would think Smile would get the actual drop here on Kinoko, and you would think that Kinoko would actually know that Smile is sitting there, but both of them kind of just flundered.
Yeah, well, and that's 7-7 on the rise.
Zippy got downed in construction pretty much instantly, and yeah, we got a tied map. Tying into the map, BONK versus PIGA, we are actually going to go over to Tarmac, and we definitely will have to see Snowfall.
Well, our first official map 3, pretty exciting.